Hi, Cass with Templeboards here. In this video we just want to run you through a basic setup of a Templeboard. As you can see, we've got 3 series of Templeboards. The Solo, which is 1 row of petals, Duo, 2 rows of petals, and Trio, 3 rows of petals. And within each series we've got several different lengths which you can check out on our website. In this video we're just going to focus on a basic setup of a solo board. So I usually like to start by just loosely laying the petals on the board, getting an idea for where I want everything. And I'll generally grab a cable and just make sure we have enough space in between the petals. Let's throw that over there. And then that way you know you're not going to run out of space later after you have the petal plates on there. Let's move this down, and something like that is likely what we're going for. So one of the things that makes Templeboards unique is the quick release petal mounting system. We've got 3 different sizes of petal plates. For the smaller petals, you can use your small plates. For your more standard medium-sized petals, we've got medium plates. And then moving over to the larger enclosures, 1 large petal plate is good for those. Also be sure to grab petal plates for your power supply, because you can mount your power supply under the board the exact same way you would a petal on top. So let's run through mounting a medium-sized enclosure. Step 1 is very important. You're going to want to clean it off with rubbing alcohol. Just give that a good clean. And make sure that's nice and dry before you go into the next step. Okay, now that the petal's cleaned off, let's grab our medium plate, remove the thumb screw from that, set that to the side for now. And we're going to want to just place the petal plate anywhere on the board for now, just getting it lined up. That's kind of roughly in the middle of the petal. And then we can remove the paper backing from that. And then using a row of holes off the board, we can use that as a guide to make sure we got the petal nice and square, because if you're as picky as me, you want your board to look neat and square and organized. And I highly recommend at this point actually pulling the petal off the board and giving it a good squish, because that compression is what's going to help it stand the test of time. Now we're ready to mount it on the board, but we'll get into that in a minute. Another thing to mention is a lot of petals have stickers or rubber feet underneath, and we highly recommend that you start by pulling those off, pulling any stickers off, and giving them a good wipe down with the alcohol swab. When you're ordering plates, you might want to think ahead. If you've got a larger enclosure, like a lot of people do have these Strymons, 2 larges, 2 mediums might be good for that, and you'd start by putting both plates on the board and then adhering them. Same thing with a volume pedal. We usually recommend a large at the toe and a medium at the heel, just to keep it from swinging back and forth. We've also found that some of these exotic pedals and smaller ones, they have a lot of weight to them. You may want to consider putting 2 petal plates, 2 smalls, on something like that. Okay, let's start building this board. Step 1, I highly recommend mounting your power supply first. We've got a Chalks power supply. There's lots of common ones out there, Voodoo Labs, One Spot. In this demonstration we're going to be using this, and I'll show you how to mount that. Grab a couple medium plates. Depending on what size power supply you have, it will be different. But for this size, I'll roughly lay that out to the width I need. Make sure when I put it on that it's going to be lining up where I need it to be. We'll give that a good clean. And then we can peel our plates. I like to mount it, even though this is going to go underneath. I like to use the rows of holes to make sure that it's square. So using those holes as a guide, let's get it where we need her and press it on. And then as before, let's take that and give it a good squish. Now it's ready to go under the board. You can see that the pegs on the pedal plates will line up with the perforated top sheet. And we take our thumb screw and screw that into the center peg of each of the plates that we've mounted. I've already decided roughly where we need this power supply, because you're going to need to take that into account later, that these thumb screws will be sticking out of the top, and on a tighter board that may come into play that you will have to shift them around a little. Now we're going to start putting pedals on the board, and we're going to be wiring it up with lava cable. We're big fans of lava cable because the ends are nice and small, and you can customize the lengths to whatever you need without worrying about soldering. If you don't have lava cable, your standard cables will fit through the cable management holes easily. You'll just need a little extra room in between pedals. For the purposes of this video, I've pre-cut the cables. If you want more information on customizing those, you can check out lavacable.com. Now we can start running our power cables. I like to start by feeding the power to the pedal first, and then running it to the nearest cable management hole. So there you have it. That's the basics for a Templeboard setup on a Solo 18. I'm Cass. Thanks for watching.